Telepathy, The Missing Link, the second essay from Man's Greatest Discovery by Henry Harrison Brown. The power that manifests throughout the universe, distinguished as material, is the same power which in ourselves wells up under the form of consciousness. Herbert Spencer in Principles of Sociology. Its stupendous span reaches all orders of existence. It rules the actions and relations of men. Professor E. L. Vuman on the law of conversation and correlation of energy. Thought and feeling themselves, which can neither be weighed nor measured, did not admit of being resolved into modes of motion. John Fiske, in The Nature of God. The immortality of our thoughts and actions is a corollary of the doctrine of the conservation of energy. Peter C. Austin, Ph.D., of the Brooklyn Polytechnic Institute. Mind and matter appear to us as an irreducible quality. Editorial Review in Popular Science Monthly. That mind and nature must at last be the same, that physical laws and mental laws must be identical, is essentially involved in what has been said as to the relations between matter, force, and movement. Buckner in Force and Matter. That one body can act upon another at a distance through a vacuum without the mediation of anything else, by and through which their activity and force may be conveyed, is to me so great an absurdity that I believe that no man who has a capacity for thinking can ever fall into. Newton in Principia. The gulf which separates the organic from the inorganic bodies is not closed up, and none of our hypotheses help us to bridge the gulf. Professor Chon of Breslin at a meeting of German physicists. These extracts not only show that there is to science and philosophy a missing link, but they also demonstrate that the scientists recognize this and the necessity of supplying it. There is not uniformity among them. The principle of unity compels Spencer and some others to affirm with Vuman the unity of the law. Fiske recognizes the law, but illogically denies that thought and feeling come under it. But among those who see the necessity, the logical fact of unity and the universality of the law is at best with them not a fact, but merely an opinion. No proof do they have except that which should be the most convincing, perception. This gulf is non-existent. The fact of this missing link illustrates the limits and the ignorance of science upon this most important subject. In regard to thought, the investigators are today where scientists were 100 years ago in regard to special creation. They lack facts upon which to rest the feeling of truth, for all truth begins in feeling. Thoughts, says Edward Carpenter, are dying feelings. All truth is self-evident. Men are obliged to reason themselves into errors. Truth is perceived by the soul, is felt, is self-evident. All men feel unity. They feel that law is universal. Because they do not have the necessary facts, they reason from those they have and build up fine but erroneous theories. So builded the man who demonstrated by reason that steamships could not cross the ocean, and the reverend who, in my boyhood's hearing, reasoned that chloroform could not be possible because God intended man to suffer pain. In biology, the missing links are the dividing lines man has made between the species. Were all the facts and evidence, there would be no species. There would be one unbroken line of development. So here, when all the facts that are at man's disposal shall be allowed to testify, there will be no missing links in life, no break in the law. There will be one unbroken line of evolution from protoplasm to love, one chain from God to rock, and from rock to God again. Lizzie Doughton has expressed this beautifully. God of the granite and the rose, soul of the sparrow and the bee, the mighty tide of being flows through all its channels, Lord, from thee. It springs to life in grass and flowers, through every grade of being runs, till from creation's radiant towers its glory flames in stars and suns. God of the granite and the rose, soul of the sparrow and the bee, the mighty tide of being flows through all its channels back to thee. Thus round and round the current runs, a mighty sea without a shore, till men and angels, stars and suns unite to praise thee evermore. Is this truth, or is it mere poetry? Is it feeling, or is it reason? I cannot conceive of a person who will not feel that it is truth. Can you not reason it so? Spencer, Buckner, and others have so reasoned. But can you prove it? Can it be proven? What will this proof mean? What will the discovery of this link between granite and soul mean to the race? Where in the list of human achievements will it rank when found? It will mean, first of all, the abolishing of death from human thought. It will mean the demonstration of life forever. It will demonstrate all the hopes of the race to be facts. It will demonstrate as realities all the desires of the race for continued communication with loved ones who have not died, but who have changed environment. It will mean the demonstration of infinite faculties in man and an infinite life in which to develop them. It will demonstrate that man is not yet born, that birth is before him, that all these eons he has been gestating in this womb of flesh, awaiting birth. Now he will soon be born, and when born, will not need undertaker, grave, nor sorrow. All this past life of man has been filled with premature births, men born out of time, before time. They have, like 5 months' babes, had to be nurtured in the nurseries of the spirit till they were able to walk alone. Earth has been a channel house when it should have been a paradise. Ignorance, which is only under development, is cause, a necessary cause, in the evolution of man. Now he is no longer coming, he is here, here in the recognition of himself as one with the power which is all. He was the slave of law until he learned to be its servant. Now he is becoming its master, becoming law, becoming conscious law. And no longer slave or servant, he is king over himself. Emerson, seeing beyond all other seers, this man exclaimed, "Conscious law is king of kings." This one fact of telepathy accepted, we have the missing link. This will necessitate a complete revolution in obedience to the law of evolution, a revolution that will change all present civilization as much as the ancient has been changed by astronomy, magnetic needle, printing press, discovery of coal, application of steam, and the application of electricity. A change as great will be wrought by this fact developed into the art of living as has been wrought by all of these, for it will locate all power within the man. He can do anything because he is conscious law, and his creative power is thought. All he has now to learn is how to use thought intelligently, learn as he has learned to use steam, and he will have dominion over all things. This fact, this missing link, is telepathy, thought transference. Telepathy is defined by Professor Crooks as the transmission of a thought or an emotion from one person to another without visible means of contact. This is a common phenomenon. It has been ignored, denied, feared, considered canny and mysterious simply because its cause was not known. When one's thought is put into the category of vibration and considered one of the modes of infinite energy, then all is clear. Telepathy places it there. This discovery is man's greatest. Things, events, persons are to be measured by results. Great things require the perspective of centuries. The law of conservation and correlation of forces, which Professor Vauban tells us was in 1864 characterized as the greatest discovery of that half of the century, had then been over half a century in obtaining recognition. Even now it is not fully accepted. Its greatness is not appreciated by even scientists themselves. Every day, its far-reaching power is being revealed. So is it with the simple fact This everyday fact, this fact of telepathy from which has been coined the saying, the devil is always near when you are talking about him. It's so simple, so common, that it is considered valueless. But the stone the builders rejected has become the head of the corner. All the phenomena of the various religions of the world, of the mystics and the psychics, of ancients and modern spiritualism, all the strange and mysterious in life, are made clear when it is seen that thought is power, and that the universe is one, that life is one. Mind acts upon mind, therefore there is no separation. All we have to do is to learn to talk in thought and not in oral speech, to listen to thoughts and not with the external ear to the slower vibrations called sound. All the intelligences that ever lived are then with us and we with them. As all fishes in the sea or all birds in the air are in one common vibratory medium and can at will converse, so are we in thought. But greater than this, thought is all the power, for all is mind. Matter never had existence. All is mind. All is vibration. All man's power is the power of mind. This power is directed by conscious thought. It can be directed to do anything. It can literally move mountains. Telepathy, demonstrating that thought is force, does not stop at the mere transmitting of vibrations between mind and mind, but since all things are only materialized mind, reduced vibrations when compared with thought, it follows that things feel thought waves and that we can learn to control things by thought. The Hindu do this. We can. Here there is wisdom, the insight, and the greatness of Professor Dolbear, who makes this remarkable statement perfectly in harmony with the position taken by this book. No one may assume for an instant that the possibilities of other phenomena are limited to such interactions as have heretofore found expression in treatises on physics. Indeed, there is evidence which cannot be ignored with safety that physical phenomena sometimes take place when all ordinary antecedents are absent, when bodies move without touch, electric or magnetic agencies, movements which are orderly and more or less subject to volition. In addition to this, is still other evidence of competent, critical observers that the subject matter of thought is directly transferable from one mind to another. Such facts do not invalidate physical laws, nor make it needful to modify present statements concerning energy. If such things be true, they are of more importance to philosophy than the whole body of physical knowledge we have now, and the vast importance to humanity. For it gives religion corroborative testimony of the real existence of possibilities for which it has been always contended. Matter, Ether, and Motion, page 353. If. There is no if to one who will seek. Not an hour, but the psychometrists, clairvoyants, telepathists are demonstrating this fact that thought is power and that it is transmitted from one mind to mind, as Professor Dolbear in the preface of an earlier edition thinks possible, through the ether. I demonstrate it daily in my psychometric readings. I receive feelings and read from them the character of the sender. At times, I receive the thoughts. A letter, no matter from whom or where or when written, tells me, as I hold it and listen to it, the character, the mental and physical conditions of the writer, and often his past and his environment, and many times his friends and their thoughts, for it opens to me his thought world. Here, then, is the missing link, which science and philosophy have long needed to unite them in one. The link is telepathy, with its demonstration of thought as force. It unites physics and metaphysics, science and philosophy, science and religion, matter and spirit in one whole. Each of these branches of knowledge is now concerned with some links in the endless chain of energy to the exclusion of others. The chain is one as God is one, life is one, energy is one. We are to study life as one, making no dividing lines where nature has not. What God has joined, let no man put asunder. This concludes Telepathy, The Missing Link, the second essay from Men's Greatest Discovery by Henry Harrison Brown. If you received value from this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more audiobook videos. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. I'm sending you oceans of love and peace, and I wish you success in all of your life missions and purposes. See you soon.